This is a sound check. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the stream. We are live right now for round 6 and 7 of the Newton League and Scientist First Grid League, SRGL. Tonight we have two races, the first in Monza and the second in Austin, Texas, Circuit of the Americas. and the lobby will load up in around 10 minutes time, so we're just waiting to get everybody in. There's a scientist here commentating for tonight's race, for tonight's action. And while everyone's getting into the lobby, I can update everybody on the championship situation. So let me just access the relevant channel. So we've had 5 rounds of the championship so far, and Balix, who isn't in the lobby yet, he is the current championship leader on 69 points. He drives for Red Bull. Closely behind in second place is VDV in the Alfa Romeo on 66 points. And in third place is Infamous in the Williams on 62 points. So very tight at the top of the championship at this early stage. Cervilliers, who is not racing tonight in the Aston Martin, he's on 54 points. Then Troll on 51 points in the AlphaTauri. D'Acunha on 36 in the Alpine. Aces versus Kings in the Mercedes on 34. King Kunta, or known as lobby here, King Chinchilla, in the Ferrari on 30 points. Desert Rat, who is not racing tonight, on 27 points. And Simps in the McLaren rounds out the top 10 on 26 points. Then we have Mystic in the Haas on 24, Eskimo on 20, Spaceman, who's not racing tonight, in the Alpine on 19, Harry Bix on 15 as the last of the point scorers in the championship, and then the remaining drivers yet to score points are Flamour and GMAC, Shermanator, Farsize and Chapa. Chapa, Farsize and GMAC have all moved to reserve roles. So just Shermanator and Flamour, who are the 2 full-time drivers who have yet to score points. So we've got some seats free in this league as a result of drivers moving to reserves. So we have the Alfa Romeo, sorry, not the Alfa Romeo, the Mercedes, the Aston Martin and the Red Bull freed up. And we've also got a new driver in the server tonight making his debut, and that's Light41 down at the bottom here in the lobby. So he's joining Troll in the AlphaTauri. So welcome to this SRGL Light. He's known as Thomas in the server to everyone in the Discord. And we also have Casto returning yet again as a reserve driver for Mercedes. Casto has already scored 89 points in this league, but of course isn't included in the official league standards because of his reserve driver role. And we also have Yor in the Ferrari in for Desert Rat. So we've got 2 reserve drivers. We have 12 full-timers and 2 reserves. And with SRGL, points are awarded down to 15th, so everyone's guaranteed to score points, of course, as long as they complete the race, or at least are able to reach the final lap of the race and they're classified. So that's the Drivers' Championship. In the Constructors, Mercedes lead the way on 123 points, largely thanks to Casto's efforts as a reserve, contributing quite a lot of those points. Second place is Ferrari. It's pretty tight for the rest of the teams following behind. So Mercedes on 123 out in front, Ferrari in second on 71, Alfa Romeo and the Red Bull tied for third on 69, Williams on 62, AlphaTauri on 57, Alpine 55, Aston Martin 54, McLaren 46 and Haas 39. So it's very congested between P9 and P2 in fact. Arguably you could say P10, not that many points between Ferrari and Haas. So could see a bit of a shake-up in the order after tonight's races. So hi Cervilliers, I did see your comment there. I just wanted to get to the end of my spiel before making any comments. So if you are new to SRGL, anyone tuning in for the first time, the Scientist Reverse Grid League is somewhat different to traditional Formula One. We don't have qualifying sessions throughout the season, apart from the first race where we set the grid, but every race thereafter, the grid order is determined by the finishing position in the previous race. So if you follow Formula One, it's very much like the Formula 2 reverse grid system, except we extend it all the way down the grid. So, for example, if we have 15 drivers, all 15 cars finish, and all 15 cars finish, then 15th place will start on pole for the next race, and the winner will start towards the back. And of course, drivers with DNF do not get the privilege of starting on pole position. So that's just something to bear in mind. As I said, points are awarded down to P15, so it just encourages racing throughout the field and to reach the checkered flag, of course. And as well as the Newton League tonight here in SRGL, we have Einstein League, which runs on a Friday night, which I race in amongst lots of members of the community. Hi, Tiny. Welcome to the stream. Tiny is one of those drivers who races in Einstein. Servilia is tuning in from Nigeria. Wow. What are you up to over there, Serviliers? Is that a holiday or is that work related? But that's dedication, tuning in all the way from Africa for tonight. And it's good. The great thing about SRGL is we've got people from all over the world taking part. Vacation for a couple of weeks, nice. Hope you're not suffering too badly in the heat over there. So yeah, we have drivers from all over the world, including Africa. We've got a few drivers from South Africa, Sims being one of them. Drivers from all over Europe, a few from the States. A large UK contingent, as you'd expect. But it's good to have lots of people wanting to join the league and taking part, and it's great to see. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very flattering and really nice to experience. So, looks like we'll be heading to the race pretty soon. Yeah, so if you have any predictions for the first race, the regulars tuning in, please leave them in the comments. Servilius has already made his first prediction, Traw, to win first race, and Traw's had quite a mixed bag of a season. He's prone to the odd error here and there, and he's been in really strong positions before and has ended up falling behind out of the podium positions on some occasions. So let's hope he can convert a good position into some good points and some possibly a win tonight, as Servilius is predicting. So one thing also for everyone tuning in is we have a driver of the day vote for the community. So if you're part of the SRGL server, you can vote for the driver who you think deserves an extra championship point based on their performance. Maybe they did some nice overtakes, maybe they had some good race-to-race battles with somebody, or had a really good strategy. Tiny's just commented in, as long as Casto, it's not Casto again, I'm guessing regarding winning. So, but yeah, we opened that vote to the community, and the driver with the most votes gets an extra championship point. The drivers also get a championship point for the Driver of the Day awarded by Codemasters, the video game Driver of the Day award, if you will, and also the fastest lap, which goes to the driver who gets the fastest lap, regardless of whether they finish. So we got rid of the top 10 only rule for that. So everybody's showing up green here, so we're just a few seconds away from loading into Monza. So you can see everybody on the screen. I don't need to tell you who drives for who. I think I've already done that for the standings anyway. But we've got 2 Haases, 2 Ferraris, 2 McLarens. And I think the guys who are without a regular teammate will be looking to get a teammate ASAP from some of the guys joining SRGL over the last few weeks, or any of our plethora of reserve drivers who may want to take up one of these full-time seats. So last time out in Canada, I believe was the last race, that was won by VDV, and he was joined on the podium by Balix and Serviliers. and that was quite a competitive race. A lot of fights throughout the field. And we go from a relatively high-speed circuit to yet another relatively high-speed circuit here in Monza. One of the oldest circuits on the Formula 1 calendar. And it is Ferrari country, so Chinchilla and Yor and the Ferraris will be hoping to put on a show for the home crowd, as well the AlphaTauri boys. And we have a wet Monza, at least for the start of the race. I'm in the dark as to whether or not it's going to be fully wet for the whole session, but we'll soon find out. And we don't have the formation lap on for the guys here because of issues with the lobby, and it looks like we're going to get a fairly quick start here. Maybe someone readied up a little bit too quickly. The lights are going out, and as soon as I can, I'll get the telemetry up, and we're underway. Oh, and we've got a McLaren off in the wall already. Let's get the position change. That looks like Eskimo. And Traw into the lead. Let's see if everyone made it through. And Yor is already out of the session in the Ferrari, unable to catch that on stream, not sure what happened. And we've got immediately a yellow flag, and there's debris all over the track here. Absolute chaos at the start of this race, and that is yours for stricken Ferrari. Hasn't even made it round the Curva Grande. And everyone on the full wets by the look of it, and Balix has already got a penalty for ignoring a yellow flag. That isn't good for him. Maybe has he got damage? And we're back to green, so that must mean a virtual safety car. We're back underway. So VDV made a fantastic start, as did Mystic, both up 6 places. Harry Bix up 4 places, so Gunther's boys doing a great job at the start. So we're back to full speed. Traw leads from VDV. From Infamous, Mystic, Harry Bix, Aces versus Kings. Let's have a look at some battles on track. Mystic, Simpson, Balix getting very close through the Ascari chicane, and Balix I think just got out in front, and we've got side by side racing with D'Acunha and Simps. Oh, and they're so close to Parabolica. Simps down the inside. Balix on the outside with D'Acunha not too far behind. D'Acunha's fallen back. And now Simps in the slipstream of Balix as they head down to turn 1. Harry Bix has got past his teammates. Mystic, so there's a position change for the 2 Haas boys. And meanwhile, there's quite a large gap between VDV and Infamous, so VDV and Traw have really pulled away from the field here in P1 and 2. Infamous in P3. And Balix very close behind Aces versus Kings here. He's going to think about the move down into the first Lesmo. Aces round the outside. Balix holds the line on the inside. Does he have the line for the next corner? Aces is fighting hard here. And Aces just about keeps it, but Balix has a good exit here and will get him down the inside, heading down to the Ascari chicane. Simps thinking about a move as well. Balix round the outside of Aces into the Ascari, and there... Ooh, Balix took a big chunk of curb there, but Aces did well to avoid contact, and now he's under pressure from Simps behind. That was a good move from Balix there. Great respectful racing between Aces and Balix, and Simps is now going down the inside into Parabolica. A little bit of contact, and Simps might get a better run on Balix coming out of Parabolica. Oh, and Aces has got a really strong slipstream using the ERS to his advantage. Pulls to the outside. Will he now think about the switch to the inside for a move on Balix down to turn 1? No, Balix has got it covered by the look of it. So a good battle between these 3. Let's look further back. We've got Chinchilla in the Ferrari with Casto. And we've got a yellow flag, and that is Aces versus Kings and Simps in the wall. Now, just as we just jumped off of that battle and they had it coming together. Aces is out of the race. Eskimo, and we've got a full course safety car by the look of it. Eskimo, yes we do, full course safety car. Eskimo having to slow right down to meet the Delta, which is notoriously difficult in this early build of the game. And that is going to negate all the hard work that Tron VDV had put into building up this massive lead to Infamous in third place. But this is going to bring the pack closer together. So, will we see some drivers jumping into the pits to maybe bolt on the intermediate tyres? It doesn't look like it's inter ready yet. It looks like the full wets for the tyre to be on. And Balax as well might want to come in and get rid of that 5-second penalty for what at the time was for ignoring yellow flags. So we'll have to see. Did anyone actually start on the intermediate tyres? I don't think so. Nope, full wets for everybody. So Traw and VDV is staying out. Balax does come into the pits. So he will serve that 5 seconds in the pits and get rid of that. And you'll have the advantage of fresher tyres from the rest of the field, but of course he's sacrificing track position for that. And we've got Simps in the pits as well to get the front wing change, which he picked up after what looked like an incident with Aces versus Kings, who's sadly out of the race. So Casto, the lone remaining Merc in this race. Haven't really focused much on the newbie Light tonight, so he's having a solid race so far in P6, up 6 positions from the start. So everybody up from P8 upwards has made up positions off the start. VDV, Light and Casto up 6 positions each. Mystic up 5, Harry up 5, Chinchilla up 3, Infamous up 2 and Traw up 1 from P2. Eskimo down 11, Simps down 8, Balax down 3 and Dacunia down 3. So nobody coming into pit. Of course, under wet conditions there isn't a mandatory pit stop you need to make. You could potentially get to the end. You should be able to get to the end on the tyres you start on, as long as you don't spin out and overheat the tyres and wreck them. And of course, another key thing, especially around Monza, is the DRS, and there isn't any DRS under wet conditions, so everyone will be managing their battery to use that for overtakes. So Traw leads the field around behind the safety car as the pack bunches up. And we've got Casto diving into the pits here. Has he got damage? Did he have a spin and pick up damage, or is this a tactical move from Casto? Maybe. Yeah, he's putting fresh wets on, so Casto sacrifices track position for fresher rubber. And he falls to the back of the field now, so let's have a quick look at the pit stops. I think it's just Balax. Oh, and Simps has actually gone on to the inters. And as I say that, almost goes off the track, spinning whilst trying to warm his tyres up. So Balax back onto the full wets, Casto onto the full wets. Simps is gambled to go on the inters. I guess he has nothing to lose really, since he knew he was going to be that far down the field after getting damage. So why not? And he's really struggling to keep the car on track. So maybe that gamble hasn't quite paid off yet. We won't really know until the restart. And oh yeah, he's kind of all over the place at the moment, just trying to keep the tyres in temperature. And the safety car is in this lap. So Traw becomes the de facto safety car and will bunch the field up behind him. And I've just realised VDV has lost his front wing. Or are my eyes deceiving me? and Traw is already bolted, so VDV has lost his front wing somewhere on the formation lap, and it can't have been through a collision with Traw because there would have been a penalty there. So has he lost it into the wall somewhere? That has cost him big time, and he'll have to pit surely. Traw really bunching the field up, and he is going for it now. VDV files into the pit, so he has indeed lost his front wing. Disastrous for VDV. Traw leads off the restart. Harry is now attacking Infamous down into turn 1 and actually gets Infamous before the corner. So a great restart from Harry in the Haas. Light is up to P4 in the AlphaTauri. He caught Mystic napping. Dacunia up past Chinchilla. It's all kicking off here in Monza. Chinchilla and Dacunia side by side through the Curva Grande. Chinchilla gets ahead of Dacunia. Simps hasn't made up any ground on those inters, and in fact looks like he's struggling a bit. Chinchilla and Dacunia side by side. Oh, a bit of wheel banging there. And that has cost, and they're just holding each other up, and Balak says thank you very much. That was costly for both Chinchilla and Dacunia. A little bit of aggressive driving there, and Balak just sails right through and is making the most of those fresh, wet tyres now. But what a move by Harry down at turn 1, that was fantastic. Brilliant move from the Haas boy. Now, Infamous, P3. He'll be looking to reclaim what was P2 after VDV's pit stop. VDV now falling way behind the field after losing his front wing. Let's keep an eye on Light as well, who's having a great debut in SRGL Newton League tonight in the AlphaTauri up to P4. The field are beginning to spread out a little bit as they adjust to these conditions, and that looks like Mystic getting up the inside of Light. And Dacunia's out of the race. What happened to Dacunia? It's an incident in Parabolica, and we've got another safety car. We've got cars in the pits. Casto, one of them getting a 5-second penalty for speeding. VDV having to meet the Delta. We've got Casto in the pits. We've got Simps back in the pits to put to go back on the wet tire. So the inters were definitely not helping there. So we don't know what happened to Dacunia. We didn't see that on stream. And yes, he's gone off into Parabolica where Leclerc crashed a few years ago. And Light has picked up a drive-through penalty for speed on the safety car. We're back to green. It was just a virtual safety car, and Light was in a battle there with Mystic, but has picked up a virtual safety car penalty and is sliding around the first Lesmo, loses out to Mystic, and Balak has to slow down to react to that and loses a place to Chinchilla in the process. So a couple of drivers getting caught out by the virtual safety car, as we've got 4 cars here in close proximity heading down to Ascari. Light from Chinchilla, from Balak's, and that's Mystic very wide there for the exit of the Ascari chicane, and Chinchilla right on the gearbox of Light, right on Light. That's a bit of a tongue twister as they come through Parabolica. Light, will he jump into the pits to serve that drive-through? He has to do it within 3 laps or he'll be disqualified. He elects to stay out now because he's attacking Mystic with the use of ERS, and Chinchilla from behind. Chinchilla also gets Mystic battling hard. Well, it's looking to maybe come back at Chinchilla, but it has Balak's to worry about now. And Mystic, oh, he just lost on traction there, goes through the advertising hoardings. Balak's picks up the place, up to P6 again. But these guys are losing so much time to the top 3 now. So Traw has managed to pull out a 2-second lead to Harry, who with that brilliant overtake on Infamous is now defending hard. Infamous is caught up to the back of him here and is within half a second now as they head into downhill to the Ascari chicane, and we got a yellow flag. That's Light, who has lost his front wing into the Lesmo, and we've got Mystic coming to a halt on track, and I think we've got another safety car. Yes, we do. We've got a car. It's a fuel car safety car. So I was just about to say, this was the incident for Light was not ideal because not only does he have damage He has a drive-through to serve, and I think the drive-through takes precedence here. But now it's the safety car. He can box, get a front wing change, fresh tyres, but then at the end of the safety car period, he will have to box for that penalty, for the drive-through penalty. So that may be tricky because he has to serve it within 3 laps, so we don't know how long the safety car is going to be out for. So let's take a breather and take stock of what's going on here. We've got Traw still in the lead from Harry, and we've got Balix in the pits. Virtual safety car. And Balix has lost his front wing, so that is why he's pitting. Virtual safety car says... Yes, you're right indeed. Thank you, Civiliers. You're absolutely spot on. It is a virtual safety car, and we're back to green racing. So Balix has had it coming together somewhere, I think, in that battle between Chinchilla and Light, and has lost out big time, unfortunately. So VDV now back up into the top 10 after that incident, after the safety car, virtual safety car, sorry. So let's jump on board with the Williams of Infamous, who is very close now to Harry Bix. And the top 3 have really pulled away from the chasing pack behind. 10 seconds the gap between Infamous and Mystic here. And Infamous got a really good exit here, has a lot of ERS to play with, but as is Harry, to be fair. Infamous was slightly more, and we've got a yellow flag, and I think that's Light in the Roger chicane. And Ari got really wide and parabolica. No grip out there. Infamous had all the grip on the inside, but Harry is using all his ERS. And we're going side by side down to turn 1 again. Harry versus Infamous. Harry has the inside. A little bit of contact. Infamous with a switchback move. Harry keeps it tight on the apex and gets a better drive out the corner, but Infamous just about squeezes through. What a battle between Harry and Infamous here. And look at Harry coming back at Infamous. Infamous down the inside. Oh, and he's thinking about going down the outside. There's a bit of contact, but it's not... Oh, it's not malicious. Oh. That was so close to disaster for both of them, but they just got away with it. And Infamous robustly defends the position. Harry was not afraid to get the wheel in there. Luckily for them, they're so far ahead of Mystic in P4 that they've not lost a lot of time. They have the Traw up front, who looks like he's comfortably going to win this race. But Infamous and Harry nearly loses it through the Ascari chicane. And that gives Infamous a little bit of breathing space, but Harry might come back at him down into turn 1. He seems to be really quick down at that part of the circuit. Mystic in P4, so the Haas boys having a very good race here, doing better than the Ferrari boys anyway. So the Ferrari powered car is doing better than the Works Ferrari. Although Chinchilla having a good solid race in P5. Eskimo really under the radar, not really caught Eskimo on stream much apart from his incident at the start, but he has done fantastically in this race to get up to P6. So great race for Eskimo. And Casto not far behind on fresh tyres. And look, we've got another change for P2. We've missed that. Harry and Infamous again. Harry must have got Infamous into the chicane. He's absolutely rapid down there, and Infamous will be looking to come back at him. It looks to me that Infamous has got the pace through Sector 2, but Harry has got the straight line speed. You can see how close Infamous is bunching up to Harry here. So maybe Infamous is running a little bit more front wing than Harry to give him the downforce for the corners, but Harry is absolutely blitzing it down the straights, and you can see that a little bit here, although Infamous is beginning to close with some ERS and slipstream. This is the closest battle on track, so we'll stick with these two for now. We might switch back to Eskimo and Casto, and you can see Infamous has got much better grip through the Ascari. So there's definitely some different setup strategies going on here. Infamous will now become the attacker down into turn 1 by the looks of it. Brilliant wheel-to-wheel racing between these two. as we start lap 12 of 13. Infamous right on the gearbox of Harry. Infamous. It's you can tell Harry's running less wing here. Harry defends. Infamous gets the inside, which becomes the line for the next corner, and Infamous is back up into P2. Meanwhile, further back, we've got Chinchilla and Eskimo. Chinchilla and Mystic, rather, and Chinchilla with a beautiful move. What a move from Chinchilla on Mystic. Brilliant driving. Let's cut back to Harry Infamous. And Infamous has got the better of Harry there, and he begins to pull away with the extra downforce in Sector 2. Let's cut back. Casto has passed Eskimo on track. Balix and Simps. Simps is in the wars again, I'm afraid. Not sure if there was a coming together with Balix, but VDV I think was ahead of that, and we've got another McLaren of the Alpha. I think that was Simps, sorry. Let's cut back to the Harry Infamous battle, and you can see Infamous has just pulled away quite comfortably now through Sector 2 and has pulled out over a second to Harry. We've got a yellow flag, and I think that might be the AlphaTauri of Light, who is now being lapped by his teammate Traw after serving the virtual safety car penalty. And Infamous has now got some breathing space to Harry now, having pulled away in Sector 2. Brilliant drive from both Harry and Infamous here. Now let's see where's the closest battle on track, and we've got a yellow flag. I think that's Simps again through Ascari. I mean, the closest battle is Infamous Harry, isn't it? And we're on the final lap of the race, and I think because the field's settled down a little bit now, Mystic and Chinchilla are still fairly close together, so we could see something there. Simps has had a spin in Parabolica by the looks of it. And we've got VDV close up to the back of Eskimo now. Let's stick with Mystic and Chinchilla, that's the closest battle at the moment. As I head down into the Ascari chicane, I don't think Mystic's going to have the slipstream to get near Chinchilla. As Traw comes round the final corner to take the win, his first win of the season in Newton League, and it has to be said, that's been a long time coming for Traw, who's shown a lot of pace this season. Infamous in P2, followed by Harry, who gets his first podium in SRGL. And I have to say, bravo to both you and Infamous Harry. A fantastic race-long battle between the two of you. Chinchilla gets P4, Mystic P5. Casto has a 5-second penalty to serve, but has enough of a delta to remain in P6 and gets the fastest lap. VDV managed to get Eskimo in the final lap for P7. Eskimo P8, Balix P9 as he spinalas over the line. Simps with an eventful race, it has to be said, and so eventful that he's decided to lose his front wing somewhere, but he's quite far enough ahead of Light, who's already met the checker flag having been lapped. Simps will cross the line in P10, and Light on debut was showing a lot of promise early on and was having a pretty good race up until he got the virtual safety car penalty, and that put him down the order, and he is in P11 and the last of the point scorers, and will start in pole position for the next race in Austin, Texas. And that was Monza, folks. Remember to vote for your driver of the day. The Codemasters driver of the day is Casto, so Casto picks up another point for the Merc. And we just wait to load up the podium, and here comes the AlphaTauri of Traw, replicating the famous win by Pierre Gasly from 2020 here in Monza. And if you want to go further back in time, when AlphaTauri were once Toro Rosso in the wet conditions. Sebastian Vettel, of course, for his maiden win in Formula One. It's one of the best ever, I think one of the greatest Formula One wins ever, in my opinion. In a car that was definitely not a front-running car at the time. But well done, Troll. P1, infamous, and P2 will be delighted with that. And I'm sure Harry Bix, who he shares the podium with, also. So let's round out the classification. Your top three are Troll, Infamous, and Harry. Chinchilla in P4, Mystic P5, Casto in P6 with the fastest lap. VDV, after getting from wing damage behind the safety car, recovers to P7. Eskimo in P8, Balix in P9, Simps in P10, and Light is your last classified finisher in P11. Cunha had an accident or an incident around Parabolica area and was in the wall. Aces had an incident, it looked like it was Simps coming out of turn 1, and you're DNF'd also around turn 1 on the very beginning of the lap, of the race rather. So I'm sure everyone on the grid will be hoping that the next race is under dry conditions and they can properly nail the power down on the fast straights and sweeping corners of the Circuit of the Americas. So we're just going to head back to the lobby and we'll have a maybe 10-15 minute break before we rejoin for race 2 tonight. So I'm just going to come off mic for a few minutes, and yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hope you can join us for race 2. Okay, hello everyone, I'm back and we are going to head to Austin, Texas for round 7 of the championship. Circuit of the Americas. A track I quite enjoy it actually. I think it's, I don't know, I think it has some mixed opinions amongst people I've raced with anyway. So we've got a prediction for race 2 from Surveillors for Ballix to win race 2. It's a strong shout, Surveillors. Ballix leading the championship to win a race this season. I think it's only time before he does, given his pace. I've been racing with Ballix since F1 2019 when he started racing out on a pad, and obviously he's on a wheel now, and he's just exponentially got quicker and quicker. So strong contender for winning the championship here. So if anyone has any, feel free to chat in the. I'll try my best to read out any comments in the chat as usual. How about predicting the podium, not just the race winner? Sevilla, can't wait to get my rig. Well, you're already showing some pace already, sir. Very envious of people who have rigs, of course, but yeah, I just don't have the time and investment for that, I'm afraid. But we can all enjoy the game as it is, whether you're pad or wheel. So we're heading to the grid now. So based on the finishing positions in the last race, Light was the last finisher in Monza, so he'll start on pole. So I think it'll be Light and Simps on the front row, which means at the back will be the DNFs from the last race. So that's not Ure, who I don't think is in the lobby. So he only showed up for Monza. So the first DNF in the race last time out was Aces, so he'll be at the back with Tacunha. And then it will be the finishing order reversed from there. So it'll be Aces, Tacunha, Traw working our way backwards, and then on pole it'll be Light with Simps on the front row. So we had quite an incident-packed race in Monza, punctuated by a safety car and a couple of virtual safety cars. So here's hoping we don't have as incident-packed a race. And oh dear me, I've jinxed them, haven't I, by saying that. We're wet in Austin as well, although we've got a little bit of sunshine coming through the clouds, so it could be an intermediate start and a transition to dries. So there's maybe some silver lining there. Yes, Surveillors. Jesus, indeed, and worst nightmare. It could be worse. It could be rain in Monaco or Singapore or something like that. Not too bad a track in the wet. Well, from my experience anyway. Okay, so let's hope we get some sunshine later on. Mystic says it's my fault, so yes. Here, I'm not hosting the lobby. So no, the setting's on approximate, I believe. But yes, if you believe in superstition and fate and tempting fate and stuff, then wet all the way through. Okay, so we've got some intel from Mystic. Thank you for that. So, well, okay. This might be music to the ears of some of the drivers here who might prefer the wet conditions and may show a little bit more pace in the wet. So, let's see. So now we're loading up. It was quite a long loading time there, so hopefully there's no connection issues for anybody. Surveillors, hopefully get these wet races out of the way before I'm back. And you've said that 3 times just to emphasise the point. 4 times even. You know what's going to happen. You've just tempted yourself there by saying that. Okay. Right, again, so no formation lap, of course, due to the sound glitch. It looks like intermediate for the start, unless my eyesight. And we've got a decent start, good camera angle, and we've got a Haas making a big dive down the inside. The Alpha Tauri holds the line around the outside, and it's almost a clean start, but for one of the Haas cars it's fun, and that's a McLaren in the lead, and it's Sims, and we've got a spinner, and it's light. Thank God Ghosting's on, because there was a couple of cars that went right through there. Everyone's on the inters, and we've got a car glitching in the background, which is probably Casto's tatty Wi-Fi. And, the Alfa Romeo getting a bit of a swapper on. Simps gets through. That's VDV up there. And we've got a McLaren stationary further back. That's Eskimo. There's a yellow flag in that snaky section of the track. That's a Silverstone rip-off. It's involving Light, Tacunya and Eskimo.
Oh, I just realised my mic was unattached there, I think. Apologies for that. And we've got a move from Balix on Mystic as they head into Sector 2. Apologies if you didn't hear me on mic there. I had it slightly unplugged from my pad there. And Simps is up into P1, VDV. Mystic has got past Balix again as they go around the left-hander. That reminds me a lot of Turn 4 Turkey. Look at Balix right on the gearbox of Mystic. And the Mystic's holding up a few cars here as they come through that sector. Balix goes for the move down the inside. Mystic defending hard as they come round. And I think Balix has got him. Yes, he has. And Balix is now... he's now under... Mystic's now under attack from Traw. He's won the last race across Traw down the inside. Oh, and Mystic has a better traction for the corner. So let's follow this group through Sector 2. Balix beginning to pull away now. Traw stuck behind Mystic. Simpson, VDV are beginning to pull away from this field as they're squabbling amongst themselves. Tacunya's in the pits, so Tacunya must have had damage at the start. And Mystic, and there's contact between Traw and Mystic. I wonder if Traw's got wing damage, maybe very slight wing damage, but Mystic is really struggling in this opening stint of the race here as he tries to defend from Traw around the inside. And we've got a Mercedes spinning. Has to be Casto, I think, judging by the track map. As we stick on board with the guys here, we've got Infamous and Traw. And Traw will surely go for a move down the inside on Mystic. And he gets it done. Mystic over the crumble strip, and that's going to destabilise his car and allow Infamous to get around the outside. And that gives him the insight in the next corner, which is very, very tight. And Infamous has the optimal line there, and Mystic is now under attack from his teammate. So a lot of squabbling in the early going here in USA. No safety cars. And the two Haas boys, and that was Mystic getting well offline there and losing another place to Harry. And there's an contact there between Aces and Harry, and that means Mystic gets back through. So Aces his car was destabilised there, and Casto's in the pits, so Casto must have picked up damage earlier on in the lap when he caused the yellow flag. So Casto not having the best of nights so far. Meanwhile, up front we have Simps leading from VDV, 0.8 of a second. Then Balix a further 2 seconds behind. And Traw now beginning to make inroads into that gap. Infamous close behind as well. Harry and Mystic. Now Mystic is now under attack from Aces versus Kings. And we've got our first time penalty of the race. I don't think we had any corner cutting penalties in Monza, which is fantastic to see. Not often you see no corner cut penalties, but we've got our first one in USA for Mystic. Let's jump back to the lead. Simps defending from VDV. And these two have pulled out a second to Balix, and we've got a yellow flag, and I think that is Eskimo. Yeah, Eskimo looks like he's recovering from a spin. Let's cut back to the lead because Simps and VDV are very close to each other. And VDV got a good exit there, so VDV has set in the fastest lap of the race in the process, and he will attack down into turn 1. Traw now sets the fastest lap. No, VDV thinks better of it just now. Of course, new DRS, so it's all down to the ERS and the grip and your speed through the corners, particularly through Sector 1 and Sector 3. And now Balix has got Traw within 1 second behind him, so we might see an attack down the back straight. So we've got a battle here for P1 and P3 with both within 1 second. We've got Eskimo in the pits further back, and we've got a time penalty for Harry, so both Haas cars got time penalties. Now let's have a look at VDV. And Traw is actually slipstreaming his way past Balix with the help of ERS, so Traw moves up into P3. He seems to really revel in the wet conditions, and VDV not able to get as close to Simps as Traw was to Balix. But now these two will be keeping an eye on their position meter at the left hand side of the screen, or wherever they got it positioned on the MFD, and we'll realise that Traw is fast approaching them. Simps with a time penalty and runs really wide at the second to last corner, so time penalties will factor into several position changes, it seems to be. Simps with the fastest lap took a big chunk of corner exit to get that fastest lap, but Traw blitzes that, and that was almost a second faster than his previous lap, I think. Let's have a look further down the field. We've got Chinchilla in the pits, and now not sure what that was for. It's front wing damage, so an end plate missing for Chinchilla. Let's have a look through the field. So Simps is managed to pull a little bit to VDV, but the gap is still second. Infamous now is coming after Balix. Mystic with a second time penalty of the race. Aces versus Kings is still stuck behind Mystic here, trying to find a way past the Haas driver, and Aces takes a big chunk of curb and gets a time penalty for his troubles, and Mystic is getting a bit tank slappy through that corner exit. Aces doesn't go for a move down the inside, wants better traction for the straight. Aces tentatively going through the gears there. Infamous closing in on Balix. We've got a yellow flag. I think that's Tacunya. Yes, it is. Tacunya must have had a spin somewhere. So, and Mystic and Aces again going at it, and Aces has lost a little bit of time to Mystic there. Was there contact going down into the hairpin? Infamous really close behind Balix now as they go through the long left-hander. Infamous showing a lot of speed there, maybe notching up the front wing again to get the speed through the corners, and let's see if he can. Yeah, he's really pacey through the corners, is Infamous. I forgot to put the telemetry on to see the ERS levels. Similar amount of ERS, but Infamous gets the move done into the corner, and that was a nice overtake from Infamous up into P4. And you have to say, at this stage of the season, championship rivals Balix and Infamous exchanging positions there. And this is a fantastic camera. Mystic is still managing to hold off Aces at the moment. And we've got Acuna, I think, in trouble in Sector 3 again. I think he might have overheated his intermediate tyres. Simps is still managing to hold on to the lead, but of course has the 3-second penalty. And we still haven't had a safety car. Castro picks up his first penalty of the race, not having a race to remember for him, but down in P10, quite a way behind Light in P9. Acuna in the pits, 5-second time penalty for speeding, and Acuna has decided to call it a day. So a double DNF for Acuna tonight. Bad luck, mate. Hope you can recover for next week. So we're now down to 12 runners. And we've got Harry now. Looks to be closing in on Balix as well. Could we see Harry versus Infamous Part 2 as Harry gets a big slide there out of the final corner, manages to hold the car together, and Aces and Mystic still going at it, and I think Aces has finally got him. Yes, he has. He's managed to pull away a little bit, a couple of seconds. Doesn't look like there's any damage involved, so I think Aces finally got through and can now set about Harry, but look at the gap he's got to the half driver. It's about 9 seconds. Wow. Balix is keeping in touch with Infamous here, so maybe Balix has managed to look after his tyres a bit better here during this stint of the race than Infamous. And we've got a yellow flag, and that is a... so it's Mystic. And Mystic has spun in Sector 1 and has lost out of position to Light in the AlphaTauri. And he might come under attack from Casto further back. Meanwhile, Simpson, VDV, very close now. VDV's man, and a little bit of front wing contact from VDV at the back there. We've just caught the end of that. And Mystic has retired from the race. And he's lost it. Coming down the hills, downhill towards the hairpin. And we have yellow flags around the circuit. And it is a full course safety car going by the LED board. Eskimo takes the opportunity to pit. Now, do the front runners elect to pit? Simps dummies fix the pit entry, and VDV's having none of it. Really good opportunity for Traw. Yes, I agree, Surveillance. I think it's a good opportunity for a lot of people, and Infamous is going to make the call for the pits, as is Harry. Harry gets a 5-second penalty. That's never a good thing. So, Infamous, this is a gamble. He is sacrificing track position of P4 to get the inters on, and to be honest, he's only lost out to Balix. Light, will he manage to stay ahead of Light? Yes, he does. And crucially, Light manages to get ahead of Harry. And Harry was catching Balix and Infamous prior to the safety car coming out. So that was a brilliant call from Infamous, because now he's on fresher tyres than Simps, VDV, Traw and Balix. So he can really push in these last few laps compared to the guys in front, who have all elected to stay on the inters that they started the race on. So let's have a quick look at the... so Infamous and then everyone from Harry down has pitted. Castro and Eskimo have pitted twice because of incidents they were involved in at the start where they probably had damage. And of course the penalties are going to come into effect here, because Simps, who's all race long been defending from VDV, will now have to contend with the fact that the field have closed up and he could potentially fall off the podium. So we're probably going to see another lap onto the safety car as the field packs up. Okay, so we just need to have Casto and Eskimo join the Crocodile cars, and we've got a car in the pits. We've got Harry and Aces now. Oh, thought something weird happened there. Maybe not. Okay, so Harry is serving the 5 seconds in the pits. That's probably a smart decision given the time penalties for a couple of drivers. Aces has had damage. Casto's back in the pits for the 50th time in this race. And his pit crew are... That was some nice programming there, Codemasters. Don't know what the Mercedes pit crew are on. And we've got some penalties on track for Simps and for Harry. So Harry just came in and served 5 seconds and he's just been given another 5 seconds for ignoring yellow flags. Oh man, what is this game doing to some people? Simps. Well, I think it's safe to assume in this race Simps isn't going to win this race, given the 8-second penalties now. It's unless a miracle happens and something happens to the cars behind. Harry was crossing pit exit according to Sevilla, so thank you. So that'll be why he got the penalty. The Simps seemed to have got a penalty for, I don't know, did he have a delta to follow, or, well, whatever it was, it's shit, but these things happen. Maybe we'll find out if it's reported as an incident, but that's on Simps. Okay, so Chinchilla, he's not in too bad a position. 4 lap old inters after having that wing damage. Not bad for him. But he's got cars on fresher rubber behind him, but with penalties, as the safety car will come in at the end of this lap. So that's not great for Eskimo, who's just going onto the back straight now, so he won't be able to meet the pack, as we've got a lot of cars bunching up already, and Simps of course is bunching that field up and lets the safety car go. Is he bunching up to let his teammate join the back of the pack? Oh, and Chinchilla's got a penalty now for the yellow flags. Oh dear. Well, I don't know if that was through contact with another driver or through accidentally overtaking somebody. I need to stop talking about people because I'm jinxing them at the moment. Right, let's see what happens here. Casto glitching in the back again, and Simps now leads the field away. That will get reported, I think, possibly. Simps with a good restart. He has to do everything he can to try and mitigate the loss of penalties. Some dodgy pens there. Yes, Tiny, it does indeed seem dodgy penalties. Everyone gets through turn 1 safely, it seems. Eskimo getting through turn 1 now, so he's managed to catch up a little bit. Track still not ready for slicks. It's going to be inters till the end, I think. No position changes at the moment. I think Harry might have got Chinchilla somewhere through sector 1, come to think of it. But VDV at the moment is in the driving seat, inheriting the win from... Let's get the penalties up. That's better. Oh, we got Infamous and Ballix again. So Infamous on the fresher tyres. We already overtook Ballix into turn 1 early in this race. And he gets him down into the hairpin in sector 2. And that was nicely done from Infamous on the fresher intermediate tyre, so he will have a pace advantage on those around him. So can he catch up to Traw? He'll definitely get into the podium positions going by Simp's penalty. Light in P6, again under the radar, but a good drive. And let's see if he can... Oh, and Ballix picks up a time penalty. Went ever so slightly over the line. So that's not great for him. Let's join on board Simps, braking hard for the apex. VDV close behind. He just can't seem to get through Simps, and he's now under attack from Traw, who again is having a fantastic race in the wet conditions. So we've effectively got a 4 to 5 lap sprint here at the end. No DRS, of course, because of the wet conditions. So it's all down to the ERS deployment and the grip of the tyres and the ability of the drivers to manage the wet conditions. As we head down the back straight, we've got a yellow flag, and I think Eskimo... Oh, Eskimo's in the wall and lost his front wing. So let's hope he can get it to the end and get points for the team. With the yellow flags are out. It's another safety car. And that is premature from the race director, because Eskimo's managed to get back underway. And we've got Chinchilla. Was the yellow flag called for Chinchilla because he's lost his front wing? It's a full course safety car indeed. And that has just thrown a spanner in the works for a lot of people. Not the Simps yet again. And just when everybody was getting back into a rhythm, it's been disrupted again. And Casto has left the session. We've got Harry going wide off track. Casto's disconnected and is ghosting. So Eskimo might be able to make up a place on Casto at least, because the AI pace is non-existent. So we're going to have effectively one lap of racing after this. I can't see the safety car staying out for 2 laps. So Simps is coming up to the back of the safety car now. There it is, parked on the apex. Do not hit the safety car, Simps, be careful. Don't get another penalty, for the love of God. And Harry back in the pits. So did Harry and Chinchilla have a coming together? So quite an eventful race for the Haas boys. Chinchilla in P10, Eskimo back in the pits in P11. So Casto disconnected. And Simps is racing the safety car. I wouldn't do that if I were you, son. You might get slapped with another penalty, or totally mess up the lobby. So the safety car powering down the straight, keeping Simps at bay here. I think Mumram is the safety car driver in place of Bert Meinlander here, and he's managing to withstand the pressure from Simps here, so well done, Mumram. Nicely done. And safety cars in this lap, so I question the decision from the game to put that safety car out there, but it is what it is. And of course Eskimo is still not at the back of the Crocodile because of the decision to have a safety car out, but there we go. So Simps has to do it all again, defend like hell from VDV and Traw, but of course he probably knows himself he's going to fall down at least 4 or 5 positions due to the penalties that he's got. So we are going to have a 2-lap sprint to the end here in the wet. Eskimo is managing to catch up. Hopefully he can get past at least the ghosted car of Castro, and Castro's managed to rejoin actually, so Castro will at least be able to finish the race there. Okay, so Simps leaves it very late again for the restart. And Simps with a good restart into turn 1. Everyone. Oh, and that's Balix and Light pulling a move on Balix. Trying to down the inside, but Balix gets better traction on exit and manages to recover, but Light is now under pressure from Aces. So there was almost a position change there. Balix hanging on through the corners. And I think the drivers on the older tyres are really beginning to feel the effects. Oh, and there's a yellow flag. That's a Mercedes and it's Castro. Spinning. And VDV has gone to the lead past Simps. We didn't catch that on camera, I'm afraid. Sorry about that, but that's big. Simps must have made a mistake somewhere, or VDV just went for it. And Traw now is going to go for it. Traw down the inside, no thinks about it. It's probably... I mean, his only chance to really get VDV is to make the move on Simps now. But this is ideal for VDV, who is in that championship fight with Balix and Infamous at this early stage of the season. Going into tonight, he was just 3 points behind Balix, and Infamous was just 7 points behind VDV. Or 4 points, I can't remember. Anyway, they'll all come out in the wash later. So VDV, with the overtake on Simps, now heads into the final lap of the race. Still all to play for here between the top 3 and the top 4 potentially. Harry has managed to get past Balix somewhere on track. We missed that as well. Mainly because I don't have the gaps, because I'm in Egypt for forgetting to put it back on. There we go. So Balix has lost out to Harry, who's recovered really well after his incident. Simps has managed to close up to VDV again. And Simps running very wide through the corner there. And I think Infamous is sadly for Infamous, he's not been able to get back up, catch up with the pack or with his fresher inters. And I think the safety car has really put paid to his chances there, but he's going to at least get on the podium. VDV has managed to pull the gap to Simps now. I think so. I don't know, Light has fallen back down to P10 after his battle with Balix, so we missed that incident as well. Traw now thinking about a move on Simps. And I think it's too late for Traw, and it's certainly too late for any attack, any chance for VDV to be challenged for the lead, because VDV will come round the final couple of corners and will win another action-packed race here in the USA in the wet. VDV setting the fastest lap on the final lap as well, gets P1. A brilliant drive from VDV, patient drive. It's all that was needed was patience and skill, and a brilliant drive from VDV in the wet. He's joined on the podium by Traw and Infamous, and I think Simps ended up P6 after all the penalties. Harry Bix gets driver of the day. Congratulations, Harry. Solid performance from you to go along with your podium in Monza. And here comes the Alfa Romeo of VDV onto the podium, joined by Tiamat Marduk by the looks of it there as one of the officials. VDV on the podium with Infamous in P3 and Tron P2. Another really entertaining race. Really hard to keep track of everything that's going on because there are lots of close battles throughout the field. And remember, everyone in the SRGL Discord, to vote for your driver of the day. Some good contenders there as we summarise the top, the final positions of the race. So we have VDV winning from Tron Infamous. Chinchilla up in P4 after losing this front line twice in the race. That's a pretty good result for Chinchilla. That's a shout for driver of the day for me anyway. Harry in P5, Simps in P6 after leading for much of the race but losing out in penalties. Balix in P7, Eskimo in P8, again under the radar, good result for Eskimo. Light in P9, Aces falling down to P10, you must have lost out somewhere. Casto in P11, the last of the classified finishers after spinning out, and your DNFs are Mystic and Dacunia. So thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Hope you enjoyed the stream and hope you're enjoying the season so far. Next week we will be heading off to, as I check the calendar, oh, interesting. Okay, so round 8 is in Baku and round 9 in Hungaroring, so 2 distinctly different tracks for next week. So Baku and Hungary. Hope you can join us for those 2 next week. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in and we'll see you next time.